Who calls to Dragon Knight?
Hey guys, this is Esports Money's ESM Mac 10, whatever you want to call me, and today we are once again trying a new format. The game volume in the background is very, very, very low, just so that there's a little bit of noise other than my voice, and everything's sped up, which actually makes the Dragon Knight kind of sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks, which is why the volume is so low. So the first thing I'm going to do is fight this camp via choke point, and then do my best to stack it. I'm going to start out with 1 point in Dragon Blood. I'm going to get an Iron Talon and a pack of Tangos. My goal for this build is to have an Iron Talon, a Soul Ring, an additional Quelling Blade, and an Armlet by 10 minutes, as well as being, I don't know, maybe level 9? I forget. I'm going to go ahead and grab every single bounty rune I can, which doesn't mean going out of my way to get them, but if they are there, I will grab them. So, slightly larger amount than you'd expect to get in-game, and this game I do get the Armlet sub 10 minutes. I actually failed a pretty, not super important, but an important enough stack, so this is not that unrealistic. The only really unrealistic thing about this is the fact that I'm not super harassed in the jungle, and I get all the bounty runes. So I go ahead and start out with the Iron Talon and the Tangos, immediately pick up the Quelling Blade, and then, because it's a bot game, I'm going to fly out these items one at a time, but in general you can wait until they're finished. And I'm going to go ahead and fly out my Ring of Regen, just because it gives me a little bit more survivability. Now, at level 3, I'm going to go ahead and get another point in Dragon Blood, just because I don't really have the mana to spam the Dragon Breath. The Dragon Breath is, or the Fire Breath, whatever it's called, is really, really good because it lowers the enemy attack by 35% of their total damage. So you really, really, really want to get at least a value point in that early on, even if you're thinking about grabbing a point in your stun early on, just because the stun is really, really good. So as you can see, this is where I will mess up the stack, so don't do this. But everything seems to work out okay. I still get all the items that I'm trying to get sub 10 minutes. And then at level 4 and level 5, I'm going to put additional points in the Breathe Fire ability, and then at level 6, I'm going to get my ult, because the ult is awesome. It also lasts a very, very long time and costs next to no mana. That being said, mana is not as big of a concern because of the fact that we're going to get a Soul Ring. Now, one thing that I do, after I get my Soul Ring, I get my Helm of the, or not Helm of the Dominator, Helm of the Iron Will, before any other piece of the armlet. And if you're really trying to be aggressive and jungle as dangerously and as quickly as possible, you can get your gloves or your claws of attack first. It's just, the helm is just a very, very good defensive item as a one piece, and I prefer to get that early on. That being said, you may not need it because of the fact that you have 2 points in Dragon Blood and you already have the Soul Ring, so you have a good bit of regeneration. That being said, you are going to be throwing out health from time to time, as I just did there, so that you can spam your Breathe Fire. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this camp, and then I'm going to go down to the easy camp, and I think I'm going to try to stack this. I'm actually I'm narrating this on a miniaturized version of it, so it's hard for me to read the time, but it does look like I'm going to try to stack this. I do stack this. This hero is not the fastest jungler, and he's pretty decent in lane, so take this guide with a grain of salt. However, he is a pretty safe jungle just because of how tanky he is. If you had a Stout Shield on him, he would kind of live forever. But because of the fact that he's sort of inherently tanky with his Dragon Blood passive, and a lot of the items you build on him naturally add onto that regen, the Soul Ring is very, very good because you can just sort of never really worry about the health. Another thing is, the Iron Talon, of course, you always want because it's so efficient when jungling, but the extra Quelling Blade actually stacks passive damage with the Iron Talon. So I always get the extra Quelling Blade just because you hit that much harder. It actually, your item timing stays almost the same, except you have the Quelling Blade. I think it's actually a little bit faster in buying the Quelling Blade than in just saving the 200 gold, because you kill things about 25% faster, about 20-25% faster, because you do 20-25% more damage. Again, I know it's not a flat percentage, I'm just saying overall that's what plus 24 essentially adds up to. Actually, it's probably a little bit more than 25, honestly. So anyway, I'm always going to get the Quelling Blade because it does make it slightly faster, and even if it is the same time, then you have an additional 200 gold item, so you can sell it and get the money back from it. Or you can just, you know, be a dick and build Battle Fury, but that's up to you. Also, you can jungle Ancients pretty early on, but again, the limitation of this hero in the jungle is the speed at which he kills creeps. So a lot of heroes struggle in the jungle because they run out of health and mana very, very quickly when jungling, and they use all of that health and mana to kill creeps and keep themselves from dying. However, this hero is sort of the other way around. He's very, very tanky and doesn't really worry about the jungle creeps killing him, but he doesn't kill them quickly enough. So that's sort of the Achilles heel of the hero in the jungle. But as you can see, he's not too bad. You want to alternate targets when you're in your ulti form because of the fact that you have a poison that does 20 damage per second and lasts for 5 seconds. So I'll typically, if there's 3 creeps, I'll typically hit all of them once, then hit the one I'm trying to kill twice, and then hit them all once again. If I've got like a stack of some kind, then I will hit all of them once in a cycle. You can also leave the camp a couple seconds before the creep dies if you've just poisoned him because of the fact that you do have a 20 damage per second poison. I don't remember if the damage per second on the poison is technically magical or pure or HP reduction. But I would suspect that it's not magical just because it works on buildings. I'm actually going to check really, really quickly. Damage from poison. The corrosive breath is magical, and the splash attack is physical. So it is magic damage, just happens to work on buildings. So a little bit less efficient against the mud golems because they do have 50% magic resist. But still worthwhile. Still a very, very strong ability. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up here. I don't know if I actually had to go to the other half of the jungle this guide. I think I might have gone once. But yeah, pretty safe jungler, if not the most efficient. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. My name's eSports Money's ESM, Mac 10, whatever you want to call me, and peace.